No one at ringside would be tremendously shocked if De La Hoya cut Gatti in the first round. First landed punch is a jab by Gatti.
That's not a good sign when you have a superior jabber comes in and let his opponent get the initial jab in.
Gatti's thunder is largely found in his big left hook. And if Arturo has a puncher's chance here, as even his most ardent supporters will acknowledge is probably the case, that punch is the left hook.
Now, the one thing that De La Hoya didn't do originally was jab to the body good. He'd always have an excellent jab on top. This time he's gone to the body. And you take chances when you reach down there into those little guys' territory, though. They pay you.
Against 130 and 135-pound fighters, Gatti always looked bigger and stronger than his opponents. Now, for the first time, he faces off against a man naturally larger than himself.
You think about it, Oscar De La Hoya is moving his head, bobbing and weaving. He's got the height advantage. You don't want that.
Right hand for De La Hoya. Floyd Mayweather Jr. promises that Oscar will make his seemingly underdeveloped right hand into a much bigger weapon in this phase of his career.
Gatti has always been vulnerable to the right hand, Jim.
Angelman Freddie hurt Gatti with the right hand early, and that punch ultimately led to Gatti's demise. Big left hook by Gatti.
The first thing I notice is that Gatti is doing more ducking and head movement to avoid the jab, and that's why De La Hoya has been unable to establish it as yet.
And the problem with that is De La Hoya is bending his knees to try to jab. You don't want to give up your height advantage to a puncher. Let him reach and miss up on top. Don't be down there where he wants you.
Right hand inside by Gatti. De La Hoya flicked him with a left.
Oscar gives up his jab. He's just an ordinary boxer out there fighting for his life. He gives up his reach. He's got his legs spread far apart.
Now De La Hoya lands his first effective combination and crumbles Gatti with a trademark left hook. And Oscar De La Hoya left hook, too big for Gatti. And there's blood flowing already from under Arturo Gatti's right eye. Body left hook, upstairs combinations. Can Gatti finish the round?
Remember, Gatti has been there before.
De La Hoya fireworks in the last 30 seconds of round one. There's the blood under Gatti's eye.
While you're waiting, right there you stand out too straight. Go, work in, go. Work in, come in. Go, come in. Come in, hurry up.
Joe Souza, the cut man, using a 1 pound end swell on Gatti.
Use your baby, huh? Bang, okay? All right, good. Use your jab. Keep doing it.
Another look at the knockdown, Larry.
Gatti was doing excellently until he stood straight up and caught that left hook late in the round. Up until that time, he had fought what for him would be regarded as a perfect round.
Oscar De La Hoya is a welterweight with a middleweight left hook. And that left hook was the difference in round one.
The problem for Gatti is he has to fight a perfect fight to have any chance to stay here.
And now Gatti comes out winging shots from both sides, seemingly already ready to let it go for broke. A very busy Oscar De La Hoya threw 73 punches in round one and looks energetic at the beginning of round two as well. Oh, an uppercut, right hand uppercut by Gatti, momentarily stumbled Oscar. Box! De La Hoya going to the body with the jab again, George.
That's his weapon. You want to keep that jab, but the difference is he's going to the body with it.
Sets up a 4-punch combination upstairs.
Gatti goes to the body with a right hand. And that takes a difference when you're throwing 5 and 6 combinations. You get hit to the body, then you start getting winded.
Crowd erupts as Gatti tries to come back over the top of Oscar's guard. And pops De La Hoya with 2 jabs.
I don't like Oscar being hit with left jabs by a shorter opponent. It just doesn't work.
Well, he's leaning in, George. He's almost leaning over that front foot.
Not good at all.
That's okay.
Leans in, goes to the body. Double shot to the body. 2 right hands upstairs.
Something new, a right hand.
Absolutely. He has mixed in the right hand much more effectively here than ever before.
Here's a guy, Gatti, who's been on the floor. He's gotten up before in his life. He's been blooded. This is not going to bother him. Only what have you done to me lately, not what you did.
No, in a way, the farther he falls behind on the scorecards, the more dangerous Gatti will become. Because he'll get more reckless.
He has a left hook.
Watch your heads! Question will be, how long can Gatti last in the fight with the blood flowing the way it is? But the big gash is under his eye, not above it.
Ooh,
excellent body shot. And another right hand to the body. And De La Hoya has clearly worked to make the right hand better.
I like he throws his punches and step back and invites the guy to come in for more.
Arturo Gatti as the bell sounds for round 2. Next Wednesday, check out another edition of the new one-of-a-kind series On the Record with Bob Costas. Last week, Bob talked with baseball Superman Mark McGwire and with Jersey's other boss, Highway 9's Bruce Springsteen. And did you see Bob's conversation a couple weeks ago with Vince McMahon? The show is live, so don't miss it on Wednesdays at 11 p.m. only on HBO.
We're okay. Start coming, okay? I told you, something wrong with him. He's going too quick. You understand what I say? Come on, Pop. Move that head, okay? And work with him. Make him miss and hit it.
Look at me.
Okay? We start coming. Work the body more. Work the body more. Yeah. Okay?
By CompuBox numbers in round number 2, De La Hoya landed 32 of 42 power shots.
Seconds out.
Substantiating the pre-fight observation that Gatti is an easy target, particularly for a precise sharpshooter like De La Hoya.
Remember, Gatti is only one good left hook from being into the fight. Doesn't mind being punished and coming back.
Gatti trying to unload a big right hand. As we told you, you can score on AOL. 15% of you gave the first round to Arturo Gatti.
We're not in the break.
Right, the second round, I should say. Second round to Arturo Gatti. Those 15% may need a little more training in scoring fights.
Oscar's doing a good job of jabbing, and moving out.
You know,
not staying in there to get hit back.
In a previous exchange, Gatti hit De La Hoya with a really good shot. De La Hoya shook it off easily.
Gatti suggested to us in our meeting, he said, I'm a big puncher. Oscar's never been hit by a puncher as big as me. I'm thinking he fought Felix Trinidad. Maybe Gatti forgot about that. There's a big right hand by De La Hoya. And Gatti's
he didn't rush him. Oscar didn't rush him. The first time he's taken his time, and after he's hurt him, took his time to start all over again. That's the new Oscar.
And Gatti seems totally unprepared for Oscar's right hand leads. Why wouldn't he be? You don't exactly go into a fight with De La Hoya saying, I'm worried about his right hand.
Yeah, but Jim, every fighter he's ever fought has hit him with that punch.
Every fighter who's ever fought Gatti has hit him with that punch,
yeah.
Right? Okay. I hear what you're saying, Larry. Don't get ecstatic about De La Hoya's right hand against Gatti.
I mean, his left hand is low. I mean, it's good that Oscar's using it because he's been a one-handed fighter, and I don't think you can beat the best fighters in the world with one hand.
No, it was painfully apparent against Mosley. Another big combination by De La Hoya. Gatti taking a beating as round 3 progresses.
Oscar does his combinations and bag and invites this guy in for more. We never saw that with Oscar.
Don't punch.
He would burn himself
Don't
out
push
trying
up.
to finish a guy off. This time, he takes his time, starts all over again.
Big left hook lands upstairs. Another left inside. Gatti lands a left. De La Hoya comes back with a right and a left of his own. Uppercut misses just short.
Oscar, you gotta watch that shoulder.
Blood and swelling.
There's now
Seemingly
some blood,
bothering Gatti just a little.
blood trickling from De La
Oscar, go over
Hoya's
there. Come
nose.
look at me. Come to me.
Here comes the ring doctor.
There's no one up inside. It's okay. We're okay. Time in. Roll it. Box.
Huge left hook by Gatti. De La Hoya comes back with one of his own. Straight right hand lands flush. Time! Well, we knew it would be entertaining.
Well, if you took 10-to-1 odds, you feel you're getting your money's worth.
Yeah, he's okay. It's okay. Good. Good job. Look at man. Quit getting in exchanges, man.
Okay, wild, baby.
This man ain't got no business with no kind of bullshit.
I got
Quit getting in exchanges. Box. Move your head. Box. Okay? I can't hit you with nothing, man. All this punch is wide. You can see everything. Move your head. Counter. The name of this game is hit and don't be hit, all right?
Here's De La Hoya with that straight right hand. You hear, however, in the corner, how Floyd Mayweather Sr. is telling him, stop getting into exchanges. Box him.
There's the De La Hoya combination that punctuated the round later on. Yeah, it's a good point. The crowd is ecstatic, George. Floyd Mayweather Sr. is not all that impressed.
Not at all. You don't want a good boxer to get out there in those exchanges. That's the only way they can get into this fight. In the exchanges.
Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim, real quick, 3-0, 30-26, Oscar De La Hoya.
Stop that!
It's 10-8 rounds for De La Hoya because of the knockdown of round 1. Jim, Oscar, he turns that shoulder and watch, he'll shove off with the left shoulder. Maybe he keeps warning him for it.
Well, he's not shoving off. This guy comes into his shoulder.
Gatti lands a left hook lead. De La Hoya shrugs it off. Kinds of punches which were devastating to Gatti's opponents at 135. De La Hoya has handled with ease so far. Oscar blocking Gatti's left hand with his right there. Gatti trying to go to the body.
Gatti has already won the crowd. Once again, for his bravery, you hear them chanting, Gatti, Gatti. Blood now coming from De La Hoya's mouth as well as a trickle from his nose.
De La Hoya using his right hand to parry Gatti's punches and looking for a chance to pot shot with the left. Gatti swinging big with the left hook as the blood flows freely off his cheek and into his mouth.
Oscar's jabbing low, and then coming up with the right hand, which is new to him.
So already Floyd Mayweather has made a mark on De La Hoya, who lands a left and momentarily freezes Gatti, comes back with a left and a right. Body shot, right, left upstairs. Gatti taking the punches. They cheered for the Gladiators, too, in Rome. They didn't have much of a chance with the Lions in the ring.
When you're throwing hard shots like Oscar's doing, it's like sprinting. You got to wait a second and get your breath back. That's when Gatti should attack. Once he gets done, get right back on him. The only thing that Oscar stopped using his left jab, which is not good for Oscar. When you want to coast, you use your jab.
Straight right hand lands again for De La Hoya.
One thing I've noticed about De La Hoya is he seems a little bit more relaxed than he usually is, George. He doesn't have his arms way extended.
You want to relax with your jab on your opponent, though.
Tremendous combination by De La Hoya. Gatti hanging in, but how much more of this can Arturo take?
Okay, go.
Let me get in there.
You all right?
Yes.
Okay.
He's all right. Good?
Yeah. Left hook right in. Just have it, okay? He ain't got much left.
He ain't got much left.
Just careful.
Sometimes when you get him hurt, awesome. You got to get the killer instinct like you did when you fight Cortez. You hurt him, he on his knees, jump on him, okay?
Okay, here we see late in the round, De La Hoya husbanding his strength for an end of the round barrage.
Typically, Arturo Gatti's opponents land more than half of their punches on Gatti. If you notice the connect numbers from CompuBox for De La Hoya in the first 4 rounds, he is over 60% since round 1. In other words, he can't miss.
The only thing that is going to discourage Gatti is for Oscar to start circling him with that left jab. Stop moving backwards because you give him more courage.
Straight right hand lands again for De La Hoya, who has blood trickling from the outside of his left eye.
Well, that's when you get your jab and start dropping one hand, that's what happens.
Whatever happens from here on, and De La Hoya certainly is in a commanding position, I don't think he expected this kind of a rough fight.
When you're off for 9 months or so like that, every fight is going to be rough like that.
Target practice as De La Hoya goes to the body and the head, drives Gatti into the ropes. And the towel comes in from Gatti's corner, and De La Hoya has a 5th round TKO. Hector Roca, Arturo Gatti's trainer, had seen enough. And Gatti's infuriated, but Roca made a humane decision for his fighter who was getting tattooed.
He was being tattooed by a puncher. Not just a boxer who throws a lot of punches, but a puncher who's throwing devastating punches to your body and to your head. Stop it. You can always recover from a loss, but you can't recover from these major injuries in boxing.
And Gatti smiles through the pain as always. De La Hoya gets the spectacle he wanted on his return to the ring, closing the show by landing 24 of 26 power shots in that merciless round.
I think he'll regard it as an encouraging return. Give him something to build on. Maybe he tried some new things out there. Maybe he caught some punches he's not used to getting punched, shed a little bit of blood. He's back in the fight game, George.
Welcome back.
This is not in a sound studio.
No.
Well,
Gatti was a lot more than we all thought he would be, that's for sure.
Losses or no, fans love De La Hoya, and they will love the performance that he provided tonight. Here's part of the work he did in closing the show by landing 24 of 26 power shots against an utterly defenseless Arturo Gatti.
What really turned the tide was all of those hard body punches. And the corner saw that, hey, this guy's going to get weaker and weaker and weaker because those shots will drain your puncher and your fighter and get him hurt. If it was just the head shots, maybe, but this was a body attack like I haven't seen in a long time. Relentless body attack.
Oscar De La Hoya putting an effective straight right hand with his trademark left hook. Not as much boxing, not as much work with the jab as we might have expected to see in the past, but a spectacular victory, the particulars of which we'll get from Michael Buffer right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we announce the official time, a round of applause, please, for two welterweights who went toe-to-toe while it lasted without 1 second of break. Oscar De La Hoya and Arturo Thunder Gatti. Referee Jay Nady calls a halt to the bout at 1 minute and 16 seconds of round number 5. The winner by TKO victory. He is now on the road back from East LA, the Golden Boy, Oscar